Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I got a new mic. I don't know if you can really hear the difference yet, but I know I can because I spent a lot of money on it, and I hope that it was worth the money. So the big announcement for the channel is that I am 100% debt-free. Financially, that is. And spiritually, I guess. However, today's video is going to be focused more on financial debts. And it's not something that a lot of people like to talk about, but I think every YouTube sailing channel I've ever seen has a financial breakdown sort of video, so we'll talk about mine. So the first thing I want to mention is that as of a few days ago, I am 100% debt-free. That is a huge milestone in my personal finances. It's something that I'm definitely thankful for. A lot of people my age are up to their eyeballs in student loan debt and buying houses and cars and all these other things that are great, normal things to do, but they tie you down. They really, nail you down to the ground and prevent you from actually living life, because if you take out a 30-year mortgage on a house, you're pretty much stuck with that 30-year mortgage on a house that you're technically building equity in, but at the same time you're paying property taxes. You have to pay to take care of the lawn. You have to pay any homeowners association fees. You have to do normal maintenance on a house. It can get pretty pricey, even compared to a boat. A new roof on a house can cost almost as much as my boat cost. So let's roll it back a second and talk about first, how much debt did I start off with? How did I pay off that debt? And then what's next? What am I going to do now that I'm out of debt? So after college, I had about $47,000 of student debt, both to my parents, who loaned me some money, and to the banks, which also loaned me some money. That was for a 4-year Bachelor's of Science in Mechanical Engineering. After college, I started working offshore for 2.5 years. During that time, I wasn't paying rent because I was living out of company housing and traveling out to sea all the time. So I was able to pay off a significant amount of money just by virtue of not having to pay for an apartment for 2.5 years. Eventually that did end. I got promoted, unfortunately, and that meant that I had to get an apartment. After 1 year of an apartment, however, I bought the boat. I did not have to take out any additional loans for the boat, so my debt total at that point was a car, which I had bought for $17,000, and the remainder of my student loans, which at that point were probably down to about $10,000. By not paying for the boat with a loan, I was able to kind of work on the car and student loans for a little while longer. However, after 1 year of owning the boat, there was a lot that needed to be done on anticipation. If you go back to episode number 7, I believe, the shipyard week, that is where I had to take out another loan. I took out about another $10,000 loan to have the mast re-stepped, the bottom painted, the drive shaft replaced, a new stuffing box put on, and a couple of other small items that had to be done for the safety of the boat. Now, hopefully I'll never have to do most of that again. I'll have to have a bottom job again in a few years, but that I am planning for. And that brought my debt total up a little bit. So I still had some student loans to pay off, I still had a car, and then I added on a $10,000 loan. Shortly after taking out that loan, however, I actually got into a car wreck. That car wreck totaled my car, and USAA, they're not a good insurance company. I don't recommend them to anybody. As soon as I needed their help, they just did not want to do that at all. Even though the accident was found to not be my fault, they basically shortchanged me on the car, so I had to buy another car. So in a very short amount of time, I went from nearly debt-free to up another $10,000 in car loans. That replacement car has been a complete lemon, and I've had to spend a lot of money fixing that. But since that all happened about 2 years ago, I've been able to work down that debt by just making practical everyday choices, whether it's not going out to eat lunch every day or eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for every meal for a little while. These little daily changes added up. They add up quite a bit. If you look at your finances and where you're spending your money, you can actually find little things like that can help you to reorganize how you're prioritizing your debt payments. Some people complain to me, oh, well, Josh, you don't really need to pay those back so quickly. You can take your time with them And technically true, you can take your time with them if you have an agreement with the bank for a certain amount of time. They don't expect you to pay it back sooner. However, it costs you more money in the long run to have debt on the books for longer periods of time. So I, after college, knew that I wanted to be financially independent and retire early, or FIRE. So to achieve that, the first step is to get out of debt. All of my debts are now paid. And I'm going to knock on wood here, because if something happens where I have to replace something and I don't have the cash, I will have to take out a loan for that. But now you might be wondering, Josh, why are you telling us all this? That's not really relevant to me. You're right, it probably isn't. I got incredibly lucky out of college. I had a job that didn't come with a lot of expenses. I've been fortunate that most of my health issues up to this point have been covered by my insurance. And I've definitely been fortunate within all of COVID and not getting laid off and being able to pay off my debts completely. Now that I am debt-free, however, we're not done. The next step is going to be to start investing that money. I'm by no means a investment professional. I don't want to be a day trader. Some people make it work. I just don't. I'm not good at picking stocks. It seems like every move I make in the stock market, the opposite thing that I want to happen happens. So if you're making those opposite plays, good for you. I hope that it works out for you. But when it comes to buying stocks, time in the market is supposed to beat out timing the market. So I'm going to be investing into a lot more mutual funds and ETFs and stuff that is a little bit more stable than just a raw stock portfolio. And I think that's something that's a lot more achievable than people think it is. By no means am I saying that every millennial needs to go out and invest their money, because a lot of us are heavily burdened by that student loan debt and the rising cost of housing and all that. So I wouldn't expect everyone to be able to do this. Like I said before, I am incredibly lucky to be where I am financially. For someone my age, being debt-free before 30 is a huge milestone in my life. And over the next 3 to 5 years, I'm hoping to actually have enough money saved to where I will be able to take some time off from work and go cruising and possibly even share that with you guys on YouTube. If you've been watching for a while, you might have noticed that I've kind of slowed down my video recordings. That is because while I've been paying off my debts, I have stopped buying new things to work on the boat. So I just don't have things to show you guys. I could show you how I pay off my debts, but that is going to look like this. Hey, it's me. I'm going over these processing sheets that you sent me, and I kind of... And nobody really wants to sit around and watch 8 hours of that every day, 5 days a week. So you might not see so much content from me in the near future, but long term, I have a whole list about $16,000 long that will eventually be done, and hopefully I'll be able to record some of that and make a fun little video out of it. And in the meantime, if you enjoy this content, don't forget to like and subscribe and share with people who you might think also like it. I don't get paid by YouTube, and I don't think I will in the near future. Also, if you see any advertisements on my videos, I'm not getting paid for those, so go ahead and turn on your ad blocker. So yeah, I mean, if YouTube's going to make money on me and not try to give me a little bit of cash for that, shame on them. Anyway, that was the rant I wanted to go on, mostly just because I needed more content for the channel. And if you have any questions about any of that, feel free to comment them down below, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. Anyway, bye.